you. Welcome. It is Victory Monday. Thanks for being with us on the Cowboys Hour, and we are in our new home for the rest of the season at Sidecar Social in the Star District in Frisco. What a great place. You could not, there's literally nowhere you can turn without seeing big screens of multiple sporting events. In fact, there's Troy Aikman's ugly mug up on that one, and I've seen quite enough of him. And there are games and a great bar, and the food is phenomenal. And from time to time, you might hear a thump in the background. That's not Christy kicking me off the stage, much as she would like to, but there is a, what do they call it, a papa shot?
Yeah, papa shot.
Yeah, there's a little basketball game right next to us, a papa shot. So if people are playing basketball, you'll hear. If Christy was playing, you would hear swish.
It would just be swish.
Yeah,
it would not
if it
be
was
any
me
knocking.
playing,
It'd
you
just
would
be
hear
the
the
net.
papa shot.
But you can find us at Sidecar Social between the papa shot and the skee ball.
Thank you, and the skee ball. Thank you very much. And tonight on Victory Monday, we are so happy to be joined by Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup. Thanks for coming.
Yes, sir. I appreciate you having
Thanks for coming. We are very happy to have those of you who have found us tonight in our first outing here at Sidecar Social. We hope to see you all year long, and many more of you. And we're delighted to have you wherever you're listening on the Dallas Cowboys radio network. Thank you for joining us. And tonight we want to say hello to especially those who happen to be listening on Austin's new home for the Dallas Cowboys, 102.7 ESPN, and on ESPN Central Texas in Waco. And, of course, to those of you who are streaming us whenever is your pleasure on DallasCowboys.com. Wave to the people, MG, those little boxes. There you go. So here we are on Victory Monday, and look at... I mean, there was only one non-victory Monday. You could not have forgotten that.
Jeez, you
quickly.
You give Bill Belichick the worst defeat of his coaching career.
How about that?
Yeah, I think it deserves a little more than that.
Hey, Michael Gallup, here's a first question I have for you about that game. So, I know as a player, the game's not over till the game's over, right? But it felt like when you got the Van Der Esch touchdown, it felt like they didn't have enough to come back. And the next score, it just felt like, I don't know, they can try whatever they want, but did it feel that way to you? And does a game ever get boring when you're playing in it?
I mean, when the defense is playing like that, you play offense, it does kind of get a little bit boring. They're scoring all the touchdowns. You're supposed to score the touchdowns, but you know, I'm never going to take away from the defense. But, yeah, just a little bit. You don't see the field for a while, and you just like, I don't know what I'm doing out here. They can play the rest of the game.
Did you play baseball?
I did.
Yes. Did you play outfield by any chance?
Center field.
So now center field, you got to really be clued into everything. But if you got a big lead and the pitcher's working slow before the clock, you could have that feeling standing in the outfield sometimes, couldn't you?
Definitely. I mean, I could just sit crisscross applesauce, you know what I'm saying? Don't even matter. But, yeah, it felt like that. You know, going into halftime, you just kind of like, you got to stay in it. It's tough. But, you know, we up. Got to do it.
I have the sense, I'm going to ask you to talk about your offense in general. I have the sense that you really, because of events, have not had the opportunity to really get it on track yet. The weather was the way it was in New Jersey, and the scores of the first two games meant that Mike really didn't have to trot everything out there. Last week was something different. Yesterday was kind of like the first. So I have the feeling that we haven't really seen the offense yet. Am I on to something here at all?
You're definitely on to something. It's been a little bit tricky for sure. The first two games, like you said, we haven't really had to, you know, do a whole lot. But, you know, last week wasn't the best week for us. I mean, I could say this from, you know, a whole team standpoint. We all just didn't play up to our standards. And then, you know, yesterday when the defense plays like that, Mike doesn't really have to call a crazy game. You know, just go out there and handle your business.
Well, the fact that cornerback Deron Bland has twice as many touchdowns as the Cowboy wide receiving core,
He's got more
no problem.
touchdowns than me, period. I play offense.
No, but they really have done a great job of, even with field position and things like that, setting you guys up and really setting the tone for the first month of the season pretty much, haven't they?
Oh, easily. And, I got to give a shout-out to, Deron Bland. He's a Mountain West guy. I'm a Mountain West guy, so we're holding it down for the little schools out there. But, they're really holding it down. We ain't got to do a whole lot, and it's just different. Like, you go out on the field, and it's like we're already up, 2 touchdowns, and we haven't even done anything. So
the other thing is the offensive line has been in flux because of injuries, and so how do changes injury-wise and personnel along the offensive line affect how many touches or targets you might get in the pass game? Does it?
Oh, yeah, it definitely does. We'll call different things, depending on who's on the offensive line, because we know, there's going to be different matchups, personnel that you got to get on. But if we ain't got the full roster, then, the play calling just it's a little bit different. The ball's got to get out quicker, or we're just running the ball, outside zones and stuff like that. But, it's a big change, definitely.
So Christy mentioned CD's touchdown yesterday was the first one by a wide receiver. And I know everybody wants to score a touchdown all the time. I'm really kind of interested in that conversation. I wonder how much you guys talk about it. As much as every one of you wants to have a touchdown all the time, if you're scoring touchdowns and winning games, what difference does it make?
It really don't. If we're winning the game, like I've said it before, like if we're winning, because I didn't have that too many touches, the first 2 weeks of the season. So it's like if we're winning, like it really don't matter. Like somebody's eating if we're winning. If I'm gonna eat, my whole team gonna eat, and that's what I say, to everybody else, and that's how I feel like it should go.
Well, I do want to talk about a way that you have found to make contributions when the ball's not coming your way. Now, obviously I've seen every snap of your career, and like all young players, you've improved, but your blocking's been exceptional this year. You are making a serious contribution, whether it's in extending pass plays or in the running game downfield. And maybe you've been the same blocker your whole career, but I don't remember noticing it so much. How would you rate yourself as a blocker? Are you better than you were before?
I wouldn't even say that I was just better. I would just say that you haven't actually seen it, because I actually have a plaque at my house. My first year, my coach, he actually got me a plaque. I had 4 pancake blocks in one game. So he got me a whole plaque for that. So I've always been a pretty good blocker, and like you said, CD needs to touch the ball regardless. So if we get him on a little screen, I'm the dude who's blocking. So I'm here for it.
Do you like those screens, those hitches, where if you got maybe a more than one man screen? I hate to see you out there blocking all by yourself, or those plays where Tolbert had one yesterday and CD's you've had a couple make one man miss. That's a challenging play for a receiver, though, isn't it?
Oh, yeah, definitely. But that's just to get, a playmaker the ball, like, as fast as possible, especially playing wide out. You can't just hand it to him. But I'm here for the screens. Like, I like them. Like, and I know Dak likes it. That's an easy completion, good, 7-8 yards. Like, we'll take that.
Would you rather catch it or be the guy out in front?
It just depends. It just depends. Because if somebody in front of me is blocking, if they don't make that block, you might get lit up. So.
Yeah, well, my little note sheet that I take on the sideline, big circle right here. So Cooks had the catch for 13, and then Lamb on the fly sweep, and then Michael gets the big circle here for a good block. But one of the things that we're talking about, getting the ball out in space to you guys, and talk about being a playmaker, and that was one of the big things coming into the season, questions media-wise and fan-wise about how things are different with Mike McCarthy calling the offense. So is that the big change, and how well suited is it for your particular skill set?
Yeah, he's definitely just trying to spread the ball out, though. Like, because, if we get him out there in space, like, we're just trying to spread the defense out, and then, TP's going to, run it right up the gas regardless. But that's, I think we all have a different skill set. Cooks, CD, me, we're all 3 different wide receivers regardless. And spreading it out like that, it's gonna make some defensive coordinators, think about what they need to do.
And we haven't really seen the fans have not seen on the field in the first 4 games, and Brandon missed one, but what we saw in training camp from a media standpoint, or the people who were out in Oxnard to see him, I just feel like when he's going to be unleashed and just his speed. But Mike McCarthy today was talking in the press conference about, even though it's not showing up on the stat sheet, that mainly because of his speed, that it's still reflecting in what you guys are doing offensively. Can you just talk about how Brandon in particular, the numbers aren't there, but still such a huge contribution?
Definitely. I mean, just the way that you were talking about me, not touching the ball the first 2 games. I mean, I was still out there. I was still blocking. I was still, doing what I was supposed to. But Cooks, he's just a factor lining up out wide. Folks think he's going to go deep regardless. So you got to play him a little bit differently. And that's really what, Coach McCarthy's talking about. It's that's a threat regardless. I mean, if he blows out the top of the coverage and CD comes right up under him, I mean, that's a win. That's an assist. And we talk about that in the wide receiver room all the time. That's an assist play.
So the interesting thing to me about watching your game develop, first of all, has been your resilience. You've fought injuries since you were in college. Was there something? The last one was obviously a big one, and you could tell last year you were doing the best you could, and you just weren't Michael Gallup at any time. When did you feel like, okay, I'm me again?
I would definitely say right before we left for training camp.
This year?
This year, yeah. I mean, last year I went out there and it was, I was out there, but nah, I didn't feel all right at all, to be honest. And I felt bad even being out there, but at the same time, it's you want to play, you want to get out there. You're hoping that it gets even better. It just didn't for me. So this year, it was definitely right before we went out in training camp. I just felt good.
So some of the things we've seen from you in your repertoire, your route repertoire, and again, as Christy pointed out, it's a little different now because of the tweaks that have been made. I mean, people got used to seeing you make those great toe-tip catches down the sideline. You run a slant really well. You don't seem to have any compunctions about running into the middle there and catching the slant. What do you think at this stage of your career you do best?
Do best? Ooh.
And what do you like doing most?
What I like doing most is going down the field. I throw it up.
What,
throw
just a
it
9
up.
route?
Yes,
just
ma'am.
a straight
throw me a
go?
9 route.
Straight go?
It's either
okay.
going to be a PI or I'm going to come down with the ball.
Okay.
That's how I see it. That's how I picture it. We just haven't, had to take too many shots.
Hang on, I'm texting this to McCarthy.
Yeah,
9 routes, go
him
route.
right.
Yeah. Early and often against
But
San
what do you
Francisco.
think? What do you think you do best?
I would definitely say a 4 route, shim route, any in-breaking routes, like you said, the slants, but just a little bit deeper. I enjoy those, and also if I do get a 7 route, toe tap, like you said, but that's natural. That's natural.
All right. So much more to go into with Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup. It's great to see the smile on your face again. It really is. You've worked hard and you've earned it. We are at Sidecar Social in the Star District in Frisco, and we'll be right back on the Cowboys Hour.
Go Cowboys!
to the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
When it comes time to shop for tailgate favorites, go to Albertsons and Tom Thumb. Get 10% off your groceries every Dallas Cowboys game day when you wear your Cowboys jersey. Hopefully your Michael Gallup number 13 Cowboys jersey. Albertsons and Tom Thumb, the official supermarket and pharmacy of the Dallas Cowboys.
Did you pick 13?
I did.
You did?
I
Did
did.
you wear it in college, high
I
school?
actually wore number 4. I actually wore number 4 in college.
And in high school?
In high school, I wore number 3
And why did you pick 13?
because I didn't want an 80s number. That's all they had
Just
left
too-
when we
just
got to
too
the Cowboys.
big and-
Yeah, just didn't want it.
So you're not superstitious?
No, not at all.
Okay, very good. All right, I got one more question about the offense in general, and then a look ahead. Are you, as an offensive group and or a wide receiver group, we talked about the fact that we haven't really seen the offense yet, and it's early. It's so early. And the other side of the coin is that we're a quarter of the way into the season. Do you guys talk amongst yourselves about, man, it's time to get the offense out here on the street. Let's go.
I mean, as a wide receiver group, we have different conversations than we do, as a whole offense. So, for us, yeah, we're trying to go. But, when you talk as a group, it goes back to, we're doing what we're supposed to do. We're getting down the red zone. We're getting points. But we just got to – there's a whole lot to talk about.
Yeah, so you're a little impatient as a group.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Definitely.
okay. Is that a good thing or a bad thing? Can you channel that into something good?
I would definitely say it's a good thing. We're eager. We want to eat. You know what I'm saying? We're just leaving little meat on the bone out there, to be honest.
All right, talk to me about next week.
Next week, it's one. We need that. We need this game. So we got to come into work this week, and it's just got to be full mindset. We got to get the dub this week. It's mandatory.
Okay, so I'm going to play devil's advocate with you.
Yep.
I'm going to say some stuff that I don't necessarily agree with, but it's a line of conversation. Why do you need it? It's week 5.
Personally, we need it for us. We need it for us. We've been losing the 49ers for a while now. We just need it for us. That's just we got to get it out the way because we know we're going to see him down the road again regardless. But, we need this win for us.
So if you don't get it, do you think that damages your confidence for the rest of the season?
I wouldn't say for the rest of the season, but it's still just we done lost to them too many times. When we need to win. And that's all I can really say about that. We just need this win to keep it going, regardless.
So it's not just another game.
It's not. It's definitely not.
Have you started looking at them yet?
Yeah.
Do they look different than last year's playoff game?
Not at all.
Because they have
Not
a
at
different
all.
coordinator now. D'Amico Ryans, who had been their defensive coordinator, is now head coach of the Texans. Steve Wilkes takes over, so he hasn't added some unique things, or what you see is what you get. Basically, they're
Literally, to be honest, for the most, we just look at it from a player standpoint. The coaches, they take all the analytics and do all that stuff, but we've been seeing these players for a while. It's just we owe them one. That's how we're seeing it.
Okay. Just wanted everybody on the record as we get going into the week, because do you think there's any danger of overhyping the game since it's week 5 out of 17?
I wouldn't say that. Colorado was getting overhyped. It really don't matter. It's
Well, you might be a
Yeah.
little sensitive about
Yeah.
that one.
being a Colorado State
Yeah,
guy.
right.
There you go.
Okay.
There you go. Little rivalry there. But one of the things in regards to week 2, the game against the Jets, Robert Saleh, their head coach, had been the coordinator before Ryans there in San Francisco. Is there anything that you take from that game in week 2? Any kind of carryover or things that look similar or familiar?
to be honest, not really. For me, when I watch film, any corner, the way I'm watching film, any corner, he's not going to play me the same way he plays CD. And that's how I watch film with, different, defensive coordinators and stuff like that. They're not going to play us the same way they play anybody else. And that's just how it is. I don't really see too much
I'd love for you to tell fans about how you study film and some of the things that you're particularly looking at a cornerback. Like maybe, and don't have to give any names, obviously, or anything, but do they have little tells? What is it that you're specifically looking at when you're studying?
To be honest, the only thing I look at is their first step. Their first step and which hand they jam with. You know, so if they're playing two, obviously they're always going to come out with their outside hand. They're going to jam it and they're going to step inside. And if they're just straight up man, I see which way they flow. And that just depends on if I make a move outside or if I go inside. That's the only thing I actually look at, like when I'm studying film.
Now, hold on just a second, because your head coach talks all the time about the most important film being the self-scout. So what do you do to pay attention to yourself? If you are if you're doing anything with hands or feet or shoulders or body language to tip the route that you're running?
I mean, that would just be mannerisms for us. If I if I'm over here, like I do this a lot, like I'll just be over here rubbing my glove, and for the most part, that's how I know like there's a pass coming. And so I really got to cut that out, to be honest, because when they see that, they know it's coming up. But other than that, I don't really do too much self-scout, to be honest. We watch enough film, right after we get done with practice for me to just be going and watching myself. So I go and watch, the DBs we're going to play against.
So did you realize that yourself, or did someone point it out to you? The glove.
Somebody pointed it out to me.
So now if we see you doing that, you're probably trying. It's a deceptive, and it's really going to be a run play.
Reverse
You're going to block.
psychology
There you
out
go.
there.
There
Reverse
you go. I like
psychology.
that.
Very
I like
good.
that. Yeah.
Very good.
So one of the things that Mike talked about, Mike McCarthy today, in talking about San Francisco, that it's a vision defense. Can you explain what that means? So Dak's going to have to be super careful. Well, he has to be careful every time he drops back to pass, but eyes are going to be on him and, react to the ball. What does that mean for your passing game and you as a wide receiver when you're going against a vision defense like San Francisco?
A vision defense for us, that just means that it's going to be a lot of checkdowns, to be honest. Straight zones. Dak's just going to have to find his certain spots. That's really, we just got to get to our spots, because there's not going to be whole lot of man, anything like that. They're just going to be watching the QB, but they're going to be moving as they do it. And so we just got to find the little spots, and he's gonna have to see them. So
How much difference did it make to you personally in terms of confidence and being able to relax to get the second contract?
Well, I mean,
mean,
it came off of me getting hurt.
Coming off the injury, obviously, it showed you that they believed in you.
Definitely.
But does it allow you to play? I mean, you're not hurt anymore. You're fine. So does it allow you to play more relaxed, with more confidence? Any of that?
I mean, it's definitely free. I get to play like that, but I feel like, you should be like that 24/7 regardless, even if you're not getting a contract. But still, for me, when I was in that position, definitely, after, you're settled, you're going to be here for a little bit, so you can just lock in and do what you're supposed to do. And that's how I felt after I got my contract. Definitely, very blessed, though.
Yeah, but also it was during an injury, and so I just be like, wow, the Joneses. I mean, they like their money, and yet they still invested in you, and so
They have a lot of it, by the
they,
way.
they do have a
they've got
lot of
plenty
it, but they like it. They don't, they're not going to give it to someone who they know is not going to be diligent and work hard in the rehab and that whole process. So just from that standpoint, the psychological standpoint of it, what was that part of their show of faith in you?
Oh, I mean, that was definitely a big blessing, because I'm over here sitting on the training bed, and they're like, we're talking about deals with MG, and I'm just like, I wasn't even thinking about that. I was just trying to get back healthy so I could get back on the field. But for them to have that much faith in me, appreciate what I've been doing, the last 5 years. That goes a long way. And for them to be able to do that, like, I want to come out here and give it my all every time I go on the field. So I appreciate them for that, definitely.
So the chemistry in the receiver room, it's important. If I talk to anybody in any position group on your team, they're going to tell me that the chemistry in there is good. Your room's changed since you got here. Cooper was here, and then he wasn't here, and then CD came in, and then Tolbert came in, and now Jalen Brooks is here, and you went from a third-round pick that only scouts really knew anything about, or people in Colorado, to an established player from whom things are expected. How does all that evolve? How have you guys been able to maintain the family feeling through all that?
I would definitely say, like, as you get older, you gotta realize that, the young guys that are coming in, like, you gotta bring them along with you. My first year, the person I had was, Alan Hearns. He had been a vet, came in, took me up under his wing, let me know the ins and outs of the league, and, I try to embody that, every day that I'm in the locker room now. For our young bulls, Jalen Brooks, JT, because, it means something. They're coming in, if I do get hurt or somebody else gets hurt, somebody goes down, whatever, they got to step in and fill in. So they got to make sure that they're, part of it, and they feel like they can be part of it. So that's probably the biggest thing right there. And they have the respect for, all the vets in the room.
Yeah, I'd love for you to take a moment to brag on JT, Jalen Tolbert. Arguably his best day as a receiver, 4 targets, 4 catches, but then just awesome on special teams, just blowing him up as a gunner. Boy, what a leap he has made in year 2. What do you see in the room, and how does it manifest itself on the field?
Oh, I would definitely say, he's made a big jump. His first year, he was, a little bit scattered. He was all over the place. He came from a small school like me, so, playing for the Dallas Cowboys is a whole different breed. But, once he settled down, literally just leaped off the page. Like, he takes notes more than anybody, everybody. Like, he has literally 2 notebooks. Like, he's already went through 2 notebooks already. He knows the ins and outs of this whole offense. So he can go into any position, play wherever, and he also plays special teams. He goes down on kickoff and on punt. And then he comes running back, and he'll tell me, he'll be like, MG, tired, boss. I'm just like, I hear you, bro, but you got to come back in here and get me if I run down the field. You know what I'm saying? But, he's a great person to have in the locker room. Everybody likes him. Everybody loves him. And he's doing what he's supposed to do. We appreciate him for it.
Next time he tells you that he's tired, say, yeah, but you're 23. Come on. You got plenty of energy left in there.
Right.
No, I think one of the most significant parts of the improvement of the team, of the offense, is just what you and he have done, how different you are. You're not the same players that you were last year.
Yep.
You're just not. And so that internal improvement, sometimes people don't measure it until they can see it, and you're showing it to them. Michael Gallup is our guest on the Cowboys Hour tonight. We are at Sidecar Social at the Star District in Frisco, and we'll be right back.
Go Cowboys!
Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
The Cowboys Hour is also supported by Luke Casey, the official bootmaker of the Dallas Cowboys cheerleaders. I'm Christy Scales alongside Brad Sham. We are at Sidecar Social in the Star District in Frisco, and our special guest tonight is Michael Gallup. And before we have our next question, it's Victory Monday with Cowboy wide receiver Michael Gallup. And one of the folks who came here, actually Jeff Farmer and his wife Michelle are here at Sidecar Social from Louisville. And they brought us this trading card. This is Babe Laufenberg, our colleague on Cowboys Radio, 8 years in the NFL, but also his time as an Ohio Glory quarterback. And so this is the trading card that Jeff and Michelle have brought. So we're going to get this signed
Yes, we
by
are.
Jeff and get it back.
Yeah, we
to
are.
him.
Those,
Thank you so
that's
much.
got to be hard to get.
Thanks to everyone who came out tonight. And Michael, would love for you to share your story and that of your mom, Jenny. Some of you may not know that Michael, growing up in Georgia, one of 8 children, 6 of them adopted, and basically it was like the United Nations with your family. Please tell us about what a unique and special childhood that you had and your siblings.
So, I was adopted down there in Georgia, like you said, but I got a brother and sister from India. I got 2 brothers and a sister from Africa, and my 2 oldest siblings my adopted parents had. So it's really crazy. Like we got folks from everywhere, to be honest.
What was that like? That is so unique and special.
Yeah, I would definitely say it taught me at a young age to respect everybody and where you come from, how you handle yourself, because they came from, a whole lot of different places, and it's just like we always had something fun to do though, so it was good for me.
And what motivated Jenny, your mom and dad, to do all that, to give you kids this unique childhood and opportunity?
I mean, honestly, to this day, my mom she still, takes her little missionary trips over to Africa and everything. She goes like every December, I would say. But she just loves the little babies. Like she just loves being over there. She loves helping. She loves giving. And I appreciate her for that because, I probably wouldn't be where I am today without her. And it's always grown on me. It's always, been something, close to my heart. I always look after mama. But, I definitely appreciate her.
Yeah, it's still very close. You were saying when we were in the break that you actually talked to her earlier this afternoon. Is that like a weekly? Well, hopefully you talk to her more than once a week, but she check in like after games or kind of like, break down your film and let you know how you played and stuff like that?
Well, I mean, she ain't going to break it down. If I have one catch for 6 yards, she's still going to tell me that I had a great game. It was amazing. You had one great catch, and it's just like, Mom, I'm not trying to hear that right now. But that's how she's always been.
Does she watch them all?
Oh, yeah, she watches every game. She watches every game. If she's not, overseas or anything like that, she'll she'll get on Google and like check the box stats or whatever. But she always call her on Mondays. Sundays, phone be blowing up and stuff like that if you have a good game. But I always call her on Mondays, check in.
Where are you in the order, in the child order?
I'm the baby.
You are the little baby.
I am the baby.
That's,
I am the youngest.
That's why she wants to talk to you every day.
Yeah.
Every day. Do you know how old all of your siblings were when they were adopted? Were any of them like older when they came to her?
The oldest we had was probably Jonathan. He's from India. He was 6 though. Everybody else was, like 2 or 3. I was actually 10 months old when I was adopted, so it's really all I've known.
Yeah. So, but before you went to Colorado State, you were at a college in Kansas, and so was that tough being halfway across the country and then nearly all the way across the country, and maybe just how your journey of even how you got to Colorado State via Kansas?
Yeah, so I went to junior college right out of high school. I didn't have the SAT scores to get into South Carolina, so I had to take the junior college route. I went there for 2 years, I got hurt my second year when I was at junior college, so I didn't have any offers. Came back home. Wasn't actually going to go play college or D1 anywhere. I didn't have no offers. And then Mike Bobo hit me up. He used to be the offensive coordinator at Georgia, so clearly he knew of me. And he was the head coach at Colorado State. And he was like, "We thought you get picked up." And I didn't. So he was like, you got an offer over here if you come out here.
So it was basically from your high school tape that he knew you, recruiting you as a home state kid. Wow, that is how just the little things in life and just those kind of references and contacts.
How discouraging was it not to have more offers than that?
I mean, it was tough, but out of high school, I had like 36 D1 offers, so
You did.
I knew I could play, but I just didn't have the SAT scores to get in.
When did you know you could play? At what point in your high school career? And when did you know that you wanted to take it as far as your talent and fortune would allow you?
Honestly, I didn't know I was going to be an NFL prospect until like the end of my junior year when I was in college.
At Colorado State.
I went for like 1,200 yards, and I was just chilling. All these agents are over here hitting me up, and they're like, "You can play in the league," and I was like, "All right, bet, whatever." Just trying to go to school.
Now, how did you pick an egg? Because that's cutthroat. That is some real cold business right there. They all want a piece of you if they think you're going to be in the league.
Yeah.
So how'd you pick?
I actually had one of my good friends when I went to Colorado State. His name was Kevin Davis. He actually played in the league for like a year or two. But when he was at Colorado State, he did everything right. He was the leader on the team. He was, one of the captains, always just everything right. And he picked an agent, and he wanted to talk to me like after he got in the league because he was a year older than me. And he had picked the agent, and he was like, he wants to talk to you. And I was like, yo, if you with him, I'm already going to go ahead and rock with him. And like I said, I enjoyed our conversation, and that's how I got my agent.
Was there a time when you were in, you said you played baseball. Was there a time that you thought you might be doing something else before you really kind of realized how good you were at football, that you thought maybe I'll play baseball or be an engineer? Or
Oh, I actually thought I was going to be a firefighter at one point. I'm not going to lie to you. Thought I was going to do that. But,
how old were you then?
I was I was just out of high school, to be honest. Like, and that was, like, I was just playing football. Didn't even want to go to junior college, to be honest. And I was like, I'll just be a firefighter. I'm good. And then, tables turned. Went out there. My mama said, nah, you need to go out there and play ball.
Was she the one that turned the table?
Yeah.
Yeah.
She let me know.
Yeah. Zach Martin's from a family of firefighters, so you got to talk to him about that.
I did not even know that. I gotta talk to him.
Big time in the Martin family. I love the way Michael describes his college career as just chilling. In 2 years, 21 touchdowns, 176 catches, over 2,600 yards, single season record, 100 receptions. So, just chilling. But the process of now that you have the agent, now you're going through all the draft. Did you ever have any idea that you were, or hopes that you would land in Dallas?
I had hopes for sure. Definitely had hopes. I was, after being in Kansas for 2 years and Colorado for 2 years, it was cold out there. I'm from Georgia. I was not trying to play in no cold states anymore.
Yeah, go Dolphins. Hopefully the Dolphins or Tampa or New Orleans or anywhere in a dome. Yeah. Hey, as the sideline reporter who has to stand outside in it all the time, I appreciate your sentiment there.
Yes,
Playing somewhere warm.
But were you thinking about, I hope Dallas drafts me, and if so, why?
I definitely wouldn't think about it now. It was actually kind of crazy because my sister was up there because I had my little draft party or whatever out there in Colorado because, that's where most of my friends were at the time. So my sister walked outside, and we were playing basketball. I wasn't even watching the draft. We were all playing basketball, and she walked outside, and she was like, Dallas is on. And I was like, yeah, we'll see. My phone starts ringing. I was like, all right, bet.
And what did Jerry say when he called Michael? Then what did he say?
Nah, Jerry actually didn't even talk to me. I was talking to the governor of Texas.
Oh, okay. Wow. So
Jerry
Governor
didn't say
Abbott,
that.
I guess, it handed him the phone. That's pretty cool.
Why?
I have no clue. I ain't gonna lie
Well,
to
third
you.
round pick, they trick up the draft, right? And so, like, remember the awesome time where Drew Pearson announced the pick there in Philadelphia and stuff? And so they'll do some really cool things. I do remember now that they did have the governor.
I've got to look into that. That's interesting.
Yeah.
Okay, well, good. Hey, you know what? We're glad you're here.
Yes, sir.
Michael Gallup's our guest tonight on the Cowboys Hour. I know some of you here at Sidecar Social have some questions for Michael. We'll circulate amongst you with the microphone when we come back, and that'll be in just a moment.
Go Cowboys! Go Cowboys! Go Cowboys! Go Cowboys!
To the Miller Lite Cowboys Hour, supported by Albertsons.
The Cowboys Hour is also supported by Papa John's. It's big, it's good, and it's only for Cowboys fans. The Cowboys Special from the Cowboys and Papa John's. A large one-topping pizza for only $9.99, so order today. Better ingredients, better pizza. Papa John's, the official pizza of the Dallas Cowboys.
And we are at Sidecar Social at the Star District in Frisco. It's our new home for the Cowboys Hour the rest of the year. That was the voice of Christy Scales. I'm Brad Sham. Delighted to have Cowboys receiver Michael Gallup with us on the program tonight on Victory Monday. Victory Monday. It's too early in the year for Victory Monday to get any like days off or any stuff like that, right?
Oh yeah, definitely. Too early.
That be coming later.
I mean, I hope so.
Yeah. Okay. Okay. We do have some questions for Michael in our audience here, so let's go to that.
Good evening, Michael. How are you?
I'm good. How about you?
Great, thank you. My name's Rambo.
Pleasure to meet you, Rambo.
Nice to meet you as well. Question, so obviously the red zone struggles have continued. How much more time has McCarthy allocated on focusing in the red zone during practice?
I mean, we focus on the red zone regardless. You know, it's just the plays just haven't worked out for us out there in the red zone. I ain't gonna lie to you. Like, we work on red zone more than, you know, any other team. It just hasn't been working out for us. So,
A lot of reasons for that too.
yeah.
There wasn't in the first 2 games. I mean, there wasn't a lot of emphasis on a lot of pressure. That is to say,
No.
on scoring in the red zone because you're way ahead.
Facts.
Sometimes you score from further out.
Yep.
And I think the offensive line injuries against the Jets affected some of the plays that he called.
That's definitely true.
So there's all kinds of reasons, lots of reasons things happen.
Hey, Michael, my name is Corey. Can you talk about the difference with, I know y'all talked about how y'all the routes wanted to be timing with Dak's 3-step, 5-step, 7-step drop. Can you talk about like how that helped the offense as far as like y'all be on the same page and being able to create separation and just being right at the right spot when Dak gets the ball, you know, through his drop steps?
Yeah, I mean, I would definitely say, you know, it helps Dak out more than it helps us out. I mean, for us, like, we just need to be in the right spot at the right time, to be honest. Like, the drop step, like, because we're not, you know, running our route thinking about, oh, he's got a 3-step drop on this one. You know what I'm saying? But, that's definitely just for him and the O-line knowing, like, it's coming out a little bit quicker or it's coming out a little bit longer. You got time to work your route. So, yeah, I mean, that's really more for him.
So there's not much change for you guys in the way you run your routes.
Not really. I mean, the only person who can really put flavor on their routes is CD anyway. Like, we got to be, you know, right on point. CD, you know, he can put a little juice on it if he wants to.
Because that's the way the system is set up, or just because he's CD and he's got that ability?
He's just CD. He's got that ability.
Yeah. Okay.
Hi, Michael. My name is Tony.
Pleasure to meet you, Tom.
The media has made a big notice of the fact that you hadn't had many touches early in the season. The Michael Irvins, the Des Bryants, and T.O.s, they used to be very demonstrative when they didn't get many touches. Do you plead your case in any kind of way? Do you go to the coaches or go to Dak and say, hey?
Nah, I don't be doing that. I don't really need to. I know the ball is going to come back around eventually. It's got to. Because, I mean, you know, CD goes for like 150 yards. Cooks goes for 100 yards. Eventually, it's going to be like they're going to get double. Then I'm going to be one-on-one. So it's got to come back around regardless. So I don't need to get mad. Ball going to get around.
Michael, is the Cowboys a team for the Super Bowl, or do you think not?
Hold on. Before you answer that, do you expect him to sit here live and say to you, "No, we're not really good enough. We're not going to the Super Bowl"? Is there part of you that expects him to say anything like that?
Maybe. If he's honest.
Nah, we definitely got to go to the Super Bowl, man. We definitely going to the Super Bowl. Come on now. I appreciate you asking, though.
I'd like you to find me a player in the NFL who says that his team has no chance, because that guy is not going to be in the NFL very long. That's just part of their makeup. Joe, do we have another one? Are we good right now? Okay, we're fine.
So why do you feel that this could be the year?
Why do I feel that? I mean, you can just tell, like, I mean, just the chemistry that we got, just the way that we move in practice, the locker room, it's really just about the locker room, though. And a lot of folks, obviously, y'all don't really get to see that, but, like, the way we interact with each other and, like, hang out and stuff like that, like, it's a whole new wave. It's a different vibe. So, definitely, like, that's why we all feel it.
It was a good vibe, too, last year. It really was. But because there's roster turnover and because young guys, you know, step up and become leaders, how has it changed from last year to this year, if it has?
I wouldn't even say it has, like, too much. Like, I just feel like, you know, the newbies that we got, they fell into, you know, what we're trying to build. And so it was easier. Like, they got acclimated a whole lot faster than, you know, some of the new guys last year. But this year, I mean, it's like, you know, there's not really a drop-off from, you know, if I go out and JT comes in, like we were talking about earlier, like there's not really a big drop-off there. So, you know, for us, like, we're all just seeing that, like, you just feel it. So
you know, there are other teams who are also good football teams who feel like they are on a mission. I mean, you're aware of that.
definitely.
So how do we I was reading some stuff in a San Francisco newspaper today. That's what I do. And they're talking about they got a chip on their shoulder. They've been to the championship game 2 years in a row. They didn't get to the Super Bowl. They haven't won the Super Bowl, and they're on a mission, and it's the same thing. And the Eagles are probably saying the same thing, right? And the Bills are probably saying the same thing. So what makes you guys different?
What makes us different? I mean, to be honest, it's all about, you know, when we line up out there on Sunday, like you just, who coming with the most grit, to be honest, like who wants it really more? And that's, I mean, you can say that about any game, but at the same time, it's just like the way we feel like if you have somebody that's not on board, like, then you're not going to do it. You're not going to do it. We don't have anybody in our locker room right now that's not on board, and that's what I feel.
That stuff has to come from the players, doesn't it? I mean, coaches can give whatever fancy speeches they want to give, but you guys are the ones playing. You're the ones who have to transmit that to each other and hold each other accountable, right?
Definitely. Every great team, I mean, they're all player-led. It ain't got nothing to do with the coaches. They hand out the game plan, that's cool, but, I mean, you're the one who's going out there and performing. So every team that's been great, been doing it, winning Super Bowls, they've been player-led.
One thing that I really like about Coach McCarthy is how he empowers his young coaches, whether it's General of the Week, and then also the way that he encourages leadership within the players. And one of the things is game captains and the like. And it's my understanding that now or the captains are being named earlier in the week. And so what is that like when those announcements are made, and what does that mean to guys when it's their particular week?
I mean, it really just means, I mean, if you got the call up of the week, like, you know, we're down in the locker room right before the game. If you got the call up, like, I mean, you've been thinking about it all week, what to say, how to prepare yourself, what the team thrives off of, what we need to hear right before that game. So, I mean, it's a big statement, though. If Coach calls you out to be a captain that week, that means you've been doing something right. So everybody wants to be on that board.
So when will you know? Tomorrow's a day off, right?
Yep.
And everybody was in today. Maybe this happened today. At what point in the week, and what will tell you that everybody is locked in a different way than to line up with what you were saying earlier is what you all need to do? When will you know that?
I'll definitely say, you know, after Thursday practice. You know, Wednesday, you know, you're in the shells and everything, so it's like, you know, get your body back right. Thursday is the hard day. And once you get through with that hard day, like, you know, like we put everything in, because obviously Friday is just a walkthrough. So Thursday, we done put everything in, like, it's time to go now. Like, you're locked in.
Well, it should be fun. It should be fun.
Definitely.
You looking forward to the week of practice?
I'm always looking forward to it.
All right. Well, we appreciate you being here.
Yes, sir.
More than I can tell you. Thank you.
I appreciate
Michael
it.
Gallup. Michael Gallup. So great to see him healthy and enjoying playing the game that he plays so well. And we'll be back here next week at Sidecar Social in the Star District in Frisco with another Cowboys Hour for Michael Gallup and Christy Scales. I'm Brad Sham. Be careful out there.
Hey, Cowboys fans.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys? Yeah!